Hello everyone and welcome back to the third episode of SW Answers. In today's video we are going to be going through a few of your questions that you guys have left on my Instagram and in my comment section and just answering them. So yeah, let's get into it.
I'm sorry, Commander.
Okay, so we'll start off with a question from Noyes Eastwood on YouTube. He asks, do you like the old Phase 2 design or the newer one? So he is referring to the two different sort of Phase 2 helmet molds that Lego has used, I believe. And so in the early sort of sets in the early 2000s, they used this sort of mold with the cutout for the visor and the black head underneath. And I do really love this design. However, obviously the more recent one is a lot more detailed and a lot better in my opinion. However, I did really enjoy the old ones and I love looking back on them and I do love collecting them. But yeah, the new ones are far superior, definitely. And the next question comes in from minifigs_James on Instagram, and he asks, where do you get your inspiration for your MOCs? So I'd say there are some fantastic MOC builders out there, obviously, like Solid Brick Studios and that lot are incredible. Rich Boy J, some of his stuff is incredible, and they've obviously got some huge followings. First Order Legos does some amazing sort of speed builds and that sort of thing, and I really enjoy his content, taking a lot of inspiration from him as well as Sacred Bricks. I find he does a lot of really good tutorials and that sort of thing, which I've definitely used to grow my knowledge on how to make things and that sort of thing. Yeah. But yeah, obviously it's not just these ones. That's just a short list of some of the people that I've used for inspiration. But yeah, I find I save so many different photos of MOCs on my Instagram and keep them on and watch later on YouTube just to get inspiration for future MOCs so I can look back at things and take tips and stuff. But yeah, those would be probably the biggest ones I can think of off the top of my head right now. So next up, Thatcher asked, who is my least favourite Jedi? And I would have to say, it's pretty easy to say, it is Barriss or Ponkrau, both of them traitors to the Jedi Order. How could you like them, really? So Epic Jax 2007 asks, how much do you rate Star Wars The Clone Wars out of 10? And I'd say it's pretty close to a 10. I'd say around a 9.5. There were a few boring arcs, but obviously you need that to flesh out the series. But yeah, overall, can't really complain about Star Wars: Clone Wars. One of my favourite TV shows of all time. Next comment or question comes from Brick Pigeon on YouTube. He asked, would you ever make a huge scale MOC like 6 base plates or more? And yes, I'd love to. I was definitely in the plans for the future, but at the moment I'm currently just still building up my parts collection and making it bigger. So, but hopefully one day I'll get to enough parts so I can make a 6 base plate MOC. That'd be amazing. So IC_White asked, what is your favourite Lego set? And this is a question I get a lot. So I'd say the ones I own, UCS Slave 1 or 2008 Republic Gunship. Other than that, my favourites that I wish I had, the AT-02 dropship from the Clone Wars, one of the first Clone Wars waves, is one of the best sets I've ever seen. The UCS Star Destroyer, the newer one, well either one, but the newer one especially is incredible, and I wish I had that. But yeah, I'd say my favourite is probably one of the gunships. Maybe I do love a Republic gunship, definitely for sure. So next up, Starbrick Studios asks, what is your favourite Star Wars movie? So I'd have to say Episode 3. I think for me that is just my favourite. Like the whole ending to it, well the whole movie, but the whole ending on Mustafar is one of my favourite parts of like movie history. And I'd say Episode 3 or Episode 5. They're both up there in my favourite movies, let alone Star Wars movies. But yeah, one of the two, Episode 3 or 5. Yeah. So Brick Freak on Instagram asked what my favourite theme is after Star Wars. I'd say I used to love the Lego Lord of the Rings theme. That definitely needs to come back. I've recently sold a lot of my Lord of the Rings, but I honestly love that theme. Love the movies. I'd say the Marvel theme's pretty good. Other than that, I don't really buy many other themes, so I mainly keep it Star Wars related. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So this question from Thoria, he asks how many custom minifigures you have, and I'll be answering this in a upcoming video, so stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be doing a full showcase of all the customs from AV figures to Konami customs to customs I've made myself, and I'll be showing all of them off in one video, so stay tuned for that very soon. So then finally, MK Customs asked what my favourite era is, and if you haven't guessed by all of the mocks I've made and stuff, it is the Clone Wars era, or the prequel era, by far my favourite. I just love clones and that sort of thing, and I think the stories are amazing. I also obviously love the original trilogy. Obviously that's iconic, you can't really not love that and be a Star Wars fan, but yeah, I do love the prequels. So that's it for this week's episode of SW Answers. If your question was answered this week, you'll be shouted out on my story on Instagram, so stay tuned for that. And if your question wasn't, then I'm sure I'll be answering it in a future video. If not, leave it again in the comments, or leave any different questions you have for me in the comments section below. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.